Obviously, we're trying to fit a 16 plus hour audiobook into 45-minute shows, so there's gonna be some differences. Welcome to another book versus movie. Welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Katrina and I make movie reviews here on this channel most Sundays. I'm going with most Sundays because obviously the movie theatres are closed right now, so I'm trying to bring you alternative movie content here on a Sunday. So today I have a book versus movie for you. I love making book versus movie videos, and this one was actually one that was requested on one of my movie reviews here on this channel, so I'm finally bringing it to you. Here you go. I will leave a playlist of my other book versus movie videos linked up here because there are quite a few on this channel, and all my socials and my blog are always linked in the description box, as well as my Goodreads if you want to keep up with what I'm reading as well as what I am watching. Today I am going to be talking about Self-Made, which is a book about the life of Madam C.J. Walker and was recently turned into a limited series on Netflix starring Octavia Spencer and Tiffany Haddish. If you are looking for some movie content to watch this week, I will also leave my playlist of my movie reviews linked up above in case you're looking for some inspiration there. I have really reviewed some of the at-home releases and some of the things that I missed in cinemas but have been able to watch just now. And obviously you know what I'm going to be watching this weekend because obviously Monday is May the 4th. But back to Self-Made. So I listened to this on audiobook through Script, and it is a 16 plus hour audiobook, and so I was interested to see how they adapted it into a Netflix show. As always, when I talk about book versus movie issues or book versus TV show issues, I understand that once the writer sells those movie rights, the movie company can do with it what they like. It's always wonderful when you hear that the author of the book is part of the script writing or script supervision process, because you know it's going to be a little closer to the book, but I know that they don't have to be anything like the book. It's just the idea and the title that has to kind of remain the same, although not always the title. Love Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda, but I love looking at the differences and similarities between what I've read and what I've watched. So there are two big differences. Obviously the length is the first big difference here. These shows are 45 minutes each and there are 4 of them, so you're just talking about 3 hours worth of material, whereas the audiobook is a 16-hour audiobook. I don't know how many pages the full book is, probably should have looked at that before filming this, but obviously there is a massive difference in the length, and this shows in the content. So the book itself is a non-fiction book, and there are lots and lots and lots of facts and figures. There are lots of facts and figures, lots of information about Madam C.J. Walker herself and her hair product and her rise to become a millionaire and her impact on the beauty industry, but there are also lots of facts and figures about Black rights, Black history at the time. We've got a lot about Black soldiers during that First World War. We've got a lot about the different areas that Madam C.J. Walker finds herself in during that time, Harlem, in Indianapolis, in other areas. And so there are lots of facts and figures in the book. So if you are looking for a book that's got a lot of information about Black history and about the civil rights movement, it's a very good book for that. There's lots of content in there, and it's from a different perspective than you would normally hear, because obviously Madam C.J. Walker's a woman, she's very much involved in the beauty industry, and you know, she's the first female millionaire. Like, that's massive. You know, it's intersectional feminism right there. So the book itself, I do recommend. It's very good if you like non-fiction, because it's very, very fact heavy. And obviously then the show just shows her time in moving from the South to Indianapolis, and then her time in Harlem, and kind of switching back and forth between Indianapolis and Harlem, and so there are other markets that she kind of dabbled in and conquered that aren't shown. There are the whole sort of the Black history aspect of the book doesn't really come across in the film, so TV show, limited series. So yeah, in terms of the actual facts that are put in there, it very much just zones in, and rightly so, on Madam C.J. Walker, and doesn't really expand beyond her and beyond her within that beauty and hair care industry. I would say that it focuses a little bit more on her relationships than what's going on in the expanded world around her, whereas the book touches on her relationships and obviously explores her impact on the beauty industry, but we talk about the wider world as well, and the impact it had on her and the impact she had on it, which doesn't really get explored in the limited series. And then that kind of links into the other big difference between the book and the show, and that is the fact that the book is very, very factual and just gives you a lot of facts. It doesn't really go into any emotion. It doesn't really go into any drama. Like I say, it touches on her relationships, but just in a very factual way. You know, this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and this was the impact of this. Whereas the show, obviously, it's a Netflix show. It wants to draw in a wider crowd than the book would have drawn in, and so it is much more dramatic. We have some kind of like scenes in there that are added for effect. We have some kind of metaphorical boxing matches that are actually put on the screen as boxing matches. We have some kind of metaphorical things that turn up as physical things in front of Octavia Spencer. And so, yeah, the drama is amped up in the show. So if you're kind of going into it expecting it to be more like a biopic, I would say that it's a biopic but with some added drama. I would also say that Lelia's part is touched on in the book, and we get to know her in the book, definitely, but again, very much through facts and figures. But Lelia is played by Tiffany Haddish in the limited series, and her part is definitely kind of expanded, and it's not been sort of storified, but her part's definitely bigger in the show, and I don't know if they did that because they had kind of a big name signed onto it, or if they just wanted to expand her storyline with her relationships, but I thought it was interesting that we kind of see her story in there a little bit more than we do in the book. So yeah, I would say it's kind of like, yeah, amped up the drama a little bit, and those are the two big differences. The main facts and figures and the main storyline is there, and we still have glimpses of the civil rights movement. It still, you know, has a nod to major moments in Black history, but I would say that the book obviously gives you more of that aspect of it, whereas this is Madam C.J. Walker, you know, the first. And the series itself doesn't really kind of focus on the fact that she's the first female millionaire. It shows her rise to success, but then we just have one of those kind of captions over the ending that is, she was the first. Whereas I feel like the book is this based on the life of Madam C.J. Walker, the world's like first female millionaire. And so, yeah, I feel like the book has those, yeah, very much intersectional feminism and Black history and history of the civil rights movement, whereas the limited series focuses on her as a person and her life, and it's like, here's this kind of larger than life personality. She didn't give up on what she wanted, and here's how that worked and how that happened, and ooh, drama. But I mean, that's not a bad thing necessarily, but it is a difference between the book and the movie. I will say that, yeah, I really, really recommend the book, but it is on the long side, and it's 16 hours of like facts, but I found it enjoyable, and I kind of listened to it over a period of 2 weeks, lacing it in between other fiction that I was listening to. The series itself was all right. It's not something that I'm going to watch again. If you've been following the channel for a while, you will know that I'm not a massive Tiffany Haddish fan. The thing that I really liked her in was the kitchen, so I was quite hopeful that because this is more on the serious side that I would like her in this, but I didn't. And I didn't really kind of buy her as being Octavia Spencer's daughter either. I felt like they were more on a level, and obviously the storyline is that she had her when she was 15, and so there isn't a massive age difference between them, but I just wasn't buying it so much. I would say that if you are interested in Madam C.J. Walker as a person, I would recommend the book over the series. But if you have just a small interest in her, then the series, you know, it's only 4 episodes. It can be watched in one night, as I did. I watched all 4 episodes back to back immediately after finishing the book. But yeah, those are the major differences. Similarity wise, it obviously tells the story of Madam C.J. Walker and her impact on the beauty industry, and really shows her pushing and pushing and pushing to get where she got, and the fact that she had to push and push to get where she got. It's a really interesting take on women in society, and how a woman's identity is so dependent on her hair and the way she looks, and the way society views her is dependent on that, and how all those things are interconnected. So in general, it's a really interesting story, and I really, really enjoyed the book, and it is on Scribd, so if you have a Scribd subscription, you can listen to it on there. Exciting. As always, if you have any movies you would like me to either review on here, or any movies based on books that you would like me to do a book versus movie on here, I do have a couple in the works coming up, but do let me know in comments. If you have read the book and watched the series of Self-Made, then do let me know in comments your takes on it. I will be back with more bookish content for you in the week. I have some TBR, a tag, a wrap up, and I have some more book versus movies in the works, so make sure you are subscribed so that you don't miss out on those. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you with more bookish content very soon.